God is in his holy temple. Quiet now.
What am I? I'm like your hype man. I'm like jacking a bit.
No, that was Poltergeist 2 era, the old man. He's like, God is in his holy temple.
Shit.
That's how I felt. If you guys, that's one of the movies I watched this week. We'll get to that. But Poltergeist 2, when he was under the cavern, he was like, ah! Like, that's how I felt when I was drinking that.
All right, so fucking movie news. Now we go straight into the movie news section of the show. I can't remember a single goddamn story.
No, I got one. Okay, let's talk about real quick. Let's talk about the AMC theater situation, okay?
Yeah.
So earlier this week, the CEO of AMC said that they were hopeful that in mid-June they were going to be able to open their doors and let everybody flood in through the gates and have a good old time and infect everybody with their hopefully non-COVID. But unfortunately, what's happened now, some of the developing news out of that is S&P analysts, which is our finance group, have reported that they've actually moved the credit score of AMC movie theaters, which is the biggest exhibitors of all movies in the United States, from a B- rating to a triple C- with Outlook fucked. Which means, you know, it says Outlook not good, which is the 8-ball you shake. You're like, I don't want to hear that.
Memphis, we're fucked.
Hey, does the girl want to see me? You're dumb. No, that, you know, so that's happened. They're looking at, like, there's not enough liquidity for AMC to continue past mid-June. So they said that the idea that they're opening up in mid-June is probably false. It's not going to happen. And even if they did, they're not going to have enough money to sustain them with their negative cash flow from this year throughout the summer. A lot of local agencies have come out and said that the peak of this terrible Sharona Macrona is going to be from June to August. So therefore, they're very, very skeptical whether or not they're going to make any money whatsoever, and that mid-June is probably not going to happen either. They said that, what was it? Another thing about what was going on is the Wall Street Journal reported that AMC has actually hired lawyers to discuss restructuring. And the only time you do that is when your ass is bankrupt, sir, and you're ready to file that fucking bankruptcy. Yeah. The bad news about this is, you know, the S&P, which stands for strong penises, S&P, I don't know what it stands for, a sensual penis. But S&P said that it's possible that AMC will take incremental financing through the CARE Act, which was approved by lawmakers and President Trump earlier this week, which is basically the loan program that he's, you know, the bailout money. They'll do that with incremental financing or with their loan or with their financiers themselves, like the lenders. But even then, they won't have enough money to continue to sustain the theater. Like you gotta remember this. Like they've literally lost a shit ton of money since these theaters have closed. And if they were gonna open up in mid-June, they're not gonna have enough money to keep the doors open anyway. They're gonna file for bankruptcy, is what S&P is saying. And at this point, they're gonna be under restructuring. They said if they were able to show that they would make lucrative amounts of money once floods of people return to the theaters in 2021, maybe they would improve their credit score. But right now, that's looking dim. And the main concern here is not just the fact that AMC is the biggest of the movie theaters that are out there, but if they're struggling like this and they're already possibly looking at, I don't know if it's Chapter 7, I think it's Chapter 7 bankruptcy, I'm not sure exactly how businesses work, Chapter 7 or 11, but if they're looking at that, a lot of the smaller theater groups,
I love 7-Eleven.
They're great. You got good Slurpees.
It's a fantastic.
Loving the bananas
store.
But if they're looking at that specific situation, then a lot of the other smaller theaters that behind them are definitely fucking in trouble. So, you know, that's pretty fucking, like, bad news.
That's
yes, it's not like, it's doom and gloom. It's
not good!
Not good. Get to the chopper! It's not the most amazing news that we all want to hear.
They were looking at their bill statements like, you are one ugly motherfucker.
they would hope that Bruce Wayne would come in, like Val Kilmer's Bruce Wayne, and be like, and he would, like, go in that little thing, like the little Sphinx thing, go. But anyway, yeah, it's doom and gloom. Yes, it's bad. It's terrible news, and we hope that maybe AMC can work something out. And now, when you go into bankruptcy, like they're thinking about doing, and you're going to restructure, it just means that you say, "Fuck you, debtors." Fuck you people that I owe money to. I gotta bear my hand. I gotta figure some things out. And then I'm gonna come back up and I'm gonna be bigger, better, bolder, stronger with steroids in me, and I'm gonna take y'all on.
Every time someone mentions bankruptcy to me, like my movie brain only goes to one thing, and that is Warrior. He's sitting in the thing, he's like, I imagine the guy at AMC is sitting there, and his accountant's telling him, he's like, we're gonna have to go into bankruptcy. That's the only way to do this. And then, like, you know, Joel Edgerton's going, That's not the way we do things.
Yeah, I like, because the banker was like, it's a viable option for all these people today. So I mean, you took out 3 mortgages on your suggestion. But anyway, so
Potatoes.
well, that's news that we had to bring you. We wanted to talk to you about that. We don't know what that means, but it segues.
It sounds fucking nasty. It sounds so nasty on the mountaintop of Creole Saga. But
that's the first thing I said when I saw Max Frank's vagina. But no,
it's so angry.
No, there was just a smell that came through, like Mortal Kombat. It was like, ooh, finish him.
But good, also mixed with bad, peppered with
but
bad.
It does segue into news, to some stories.
Yeah, and this is why I say good, but peppered into bad news. And the good thing is they were saying that they think they can last till what, September or whatever?
No,
or not through June. So AMC originally said, the guy came out and he was like, I think we're gonna open in June, and people are gonna flock to the theaters, Buddy Jesus style.
Fucking goddamn Ronald Reagan looking motherfucker. He said like Jimmy Nixon or Nixon. He was like, I'm not a girl.
that will
Jimmy Nixon.
What was it we said in the live show? It was
Richard.
like, I did not suck that dick. But that sounds like bad news. And it does. And one of the other things we're going to go into here is Candyman getting pushed back. Because Candyman, as we talked about in our several episodes talking about VOD and Halloween Kills and what's going to happen, we mentioned that the last bastion
no candy for no one?
Switch to the sweet. No, motherfucker, you ain't paid your bills.
Fuck y'all.
But you better be showing that shit at Cabrini Green.
And some bubble-ish.
They have some skills. But so Candyman did get pushed back. And what we said in a couple of the last videos was that Candyman was the last horror movie on the slate. It's the last one holding the front line. And it was June 23rd, 26th, something like that. It was late June that it was supposed to come out. That was still holding strong on the schedule. Now they have announced that that's going to get pushed back. And it is a Universal film who's also totally over the top in control of Blumhouse with Halloween Kills and stuff. But they pushed Candyman, our last horror movie left on the schedule, back to September. But 25th. They also, this year, September.
Yeah, 25th, yeah.
But they also pushed back A Quiet Place 2, which we knew they pushed back A Quiet Place 2, but they've announced a release date for it.
It's just damn quiet. No one saw it coming.
Guess what that release date is? September. It's also September. So what this tells you...
Wake me up when September's over.
What this tells you is that... movie theaters have honed and dude, everybody just did a gigantic reshuffling. Like Disney, all sorts of shit just got reshuffled. It's too much to explain. But all it reminds me of, remember when you were a kid and you had your pages of sports cards set up? But then you would buy a new box of sports cards. And then you would sit there and you would have to take the good ones and put them in with the good cards in your sports collection. So you'd sit there for hours like pulling out cards in your pages and moving them around or whatever. And that's basically what movie studios are doing right now. They're sitting there and they're like, okay, it looks like September might be the earliest that we can really nail this thing. So they're moving everything around. They're reshuffling their sports cards around. So Candyman is now September. Quiet Place 2 is now September. Now that might seem like awful news, but taking it with a positive edge, it means that October's still viable. For sure. Worst case scenario, what everybody's looking at, and these people are in the know a little bit more than we are with their finances, with what's going on in the world. They know a little bit more than we do, and they're banking right now, it seems like, on September being the time that we're going to be full go and we're going to be able to do this thing. Now that could change because nobody knows what the fuck is going to go on with the... But...
the what day?
Nobody knows, but it looks like September. So we still have September on the schedule. It could happen, and that makes Halloween Kills safe where it is, because as we mentioned before, we won't go back into that discussion again, but Halloween Kills is a movie that wants to release in October, because obviously it's Halloween, and we'll see what happens with that, but we're still good for Halloween!
Well, yeah, look, we'll see what happens. Shake that dick.
Cherish it.
That's the size of the dick that Mike usually takes in his mouth.
Cherish it.
Just that big. But no, the Tom Hanks disease that's going around. They are hopeful that in September things might be well and things might be okay. The problem is, and I don't want to be a negative Nancy sucking on a negative cow dick, but I will say you gotta go in a little bit realist, because the fact that they think S&P analysts have said, and that's how they predict how these financial security of these companies are going to be, is based on the pandemic that's going around. That if the peak hits between June and August, is what a lot of government agencies are saying it's going to, so whatever that means. If you're going to say that the next month, that everything's going to be hunky-dory and everybody's going to run out of their house into the sun with their butt cheeks flying in the air and be like, look at me, I'm here. It's not going to happen, I don't think.
I do disagree with that point.
Let me get... So what I was going to say, the reason why, it's just because the height of the pandemic will reach maybe the zenith in August. That doesn't mean everything is going to be okay right away. Like there's clean, because what if we didn't, if there's no inoculation at that point, if there's no medicines, I think people are going to be, there's going to be quite a few people that are interested in going to see films again, and definitely want to get out of their house and go to the restaurants and drink beer and do Jello shots off of strippers, titties. But
our usual weekends.
But the truth of the matter is, I think A Quiet Place 2 and what they were saying that it was on slate to make $60 million. You're fucking talking out the side of your asshole, because that was going to be $60 million your opening weekend. Motherfucker, you're not going to see $30 million on an opening weekend, because people are still going to be afraid right away to go out. And that speculation that you think you're going to get $60 million on your opening weekend, if everything is at the worst in August, you're not going to get your $60 million.
Well, there's two things about that, though. Well, what they've been saying is that everything's going to be the worst in the next 2 weeks. Like, they think it's going to reach its peak in the next 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Now, movie theaters are pushing their shit out till September, but that doesn't mean that they're thinking it's going to be the worst in August. So that actually, if what they're saying in the world, and who the fuck knows right now, because nobody the fuck knows right now, but if they're saying it's going to, because they even said, the Surgeon General said, like, the next 2 weeks are going to be fucking rough. It's going to be bad. But if after that, if everything goes well and things start to go slow down and things start to open back up after that, like, I think it's like they moved it to like May 1st. Yeah, they moved it to May 1st, the next deadline that we're going to look at. But, so that doesn't put it in August. That puts it a couple months before these movies are going to release. And so one, they gave themselves a little bit of a space there, which is good, and that's smart. But two, the reason I disagree with you about that is because
you always disagree with me, you
can't help it. I'm a woman, and I mean business.
I knew you were on your period.
Girls just wanna have fun. But listen,
just one of them days.
When the first movie, so we have altered views about this, and I think it's interesting to talk about, because when movie theaters open up and you've got your first big release that opens up to the public, after it's over with, and it opens back up.
You can call it the Tom Hanks.
I don't think, I like going, but I don't think that people are going to shy away from it. I actually think, and even those that do shy away from it, I think that's going to be replenished by the people like, I can go to the fucking movies again?
Yeah.
And you're going to have all these people who have been locked inside their fucking houses, who are going stir crazy, and are just waiting for the moment to get the fuck out. I think the box office is going to be higher than it would have been beforehand. I actually think they'll make more than their previous projections, depending on when it lands, because people are going to get so excited that they can go out to a movie theater again, and that it's okay to go out and go shopping or go to the bars or go to whatever. I think movie theaters go right to that. And we've always said this, like, oh, this sucks right now, and it does suck right now, and it's all weird and it's all scary, but when it's all opened up and everything opens up again and everybody's out, it's going to be a fucking party. And I think movie theaters are going to be the same way.
You got some spunk funk, and I like the optimism, but at the same time, is it misplaced? No, it's not. I really hope. I'm not like on the bandwagon of wanting theaters to die and not have these movies come out this year. Absolutely not. I'm just wanting to be real about it, and also like kind of halt my enthusiasm of everything going back to normal right away, because I don't think that's going to happen. Like, I mean, these stupid fuckers that are still going out and they're not practicing social distancing.
Yeah.
Like him and I, but we're not going to Kroger or Walmart and shit and act like fucking moron monkeys that are jumping from banana tree to banana tree and butt fucking back the head of people waiting in line. We're not doing that, but everybody's stidy's doing that. So the idea of everybody's want to get out and they can finally go shop, they're already doing that. They're not following protocols. They're not doing what they should be doing anyway. So at this point, it's spreading and it's getting worse. I'm just saying that by the time September rolls around, and obviously we've got the in October, the big one, Halloween Kills, for all of us Halloween fans, right? I think that there's two things working against us. Is the fact that people are stupid and they're not following protocols. So this thing is spreading at a rapid rate. That's why the government agencies are saying that they think it's going to be bad between June and August, when the summer heats up and people are going to want to go outside.
See, I haven't heard that though. I haven't heard between June and August it's going to be bad.
No, I've even heard as far as 18 months. Like, I mean, they're
worst case scenario, but nobody said it's going to be horrible in June and August.
No. But this is what the report was that was about the AMC, and this is what S&P were using as their projections for AMC theaters. Now, from that, if you're going from that, then what AMC is also facing is a fact of bankruptcy. So you're talking about the largest theater chain out there, like over 6,500 theaters across the nation, closing their door under bankruptcy by July. and not having any money.
Bankruptcy doesn't necessarily mean they're going to be closing their doors, though. They're going to be using bankruptcy to keep the doors open.
The restructuring with the lawyers, that's what the Wall Street Journal said, but that also means they can't take on any kind of money because they don't have the money to pay the fucking the productions.
Dude, you never know with big business. They can survive.
No, well, the point is if you're bankrupt, you can't take money from people that you don't have money to give. Like, so if like Blumhouse or Disney said, hey, buy some shit from us, like, we ain't got the money. I've been sucking dick all day and I only made 25 cents. They don't have the money. That's the situation that we're in right now. Now, on the other hand, it could be, just a very bleak outlook, and it might not happen. And maybe in the next 2 to 3 weeks or 4 weeks, things will get a lot better. People will stop being stupid. We'll let this thing pass, and maybe at that point a vaccine will come out or like a medicine. Who knows how the future is shaped? I mean, only Yoda knows. But at this point,
it's shaped like a dick.
It is. It's a big old stick. But at this point, I'm just saying, I just think that the projections and the reasoning behind pushing back certain movies, like I love A Quiet Place. A Quiet Place was a great fucking film. It really was. But if I were them, what I would do, and even though it was on track to make $60 million, dude, it's not the same world you're living in anymore. It might have been on track pre Tom Hanks disease, and now it's not the situation.
Just say prior, whore.
Well, I like to say pre.
Prior whore. Whore.
I like to say pre because that's what I do all the time in bed. Yeah, so like that might have been the situation a few months back. That's not the situation anymore. You guys are not going to make the $60 million that you want. And I really do hope that people will flood the theaters again because they'll need the money. They'll need your help. But at the same time, I think people are going to be very scared. It's going to be one of those things that people are going to be very timid to come out of their home and go into a packed auditorium with 50 strangers and breathe the same fucking air while they're coughing.
People are doing it right now.
I know. Well, they're doing it for like toilet paper.
Unsanctioned.
They're stupid. But this is a different thing where you're sitting for 2 hours in a theater, like this to somebody, and
when
like
the government
coughing,
and the businesses come out and tell you it's okay to do that, you think they're doing it now. You think they're not going to do it then? It's going to be a fucking shit show. And that's the thing. When everything opens back up, obviously we have completely different perspectives on this, but I think when everything opens back up, we're going to be annoyed at how hard it is to go to the gym because everyone's going to be at the gym. We're going to be annoyed at how hard it is to get a seat in a movie ticket because everyone's going to fucking be there. Whether that's good or bad for the whole state of the nation, I don't know. We're a couple of fucking dicks on YouTube, but I'm just saying, I think when they open this shit back up, people are going to flock because they missed that shit. It's been months by that point. By September, it's going to be months until we're able to go sit in a movie theater again. And dude, if they tell us that it's okay to, and we go do that shit, I think people will, I think they'll wash their hands more. I think they'll be more careful of their surroundings.
Smack an old fucking person that coughs on them and be like,
but dude,
get off me!
I think it's gonna fucking skyrocket.
I don't know. Well, then we are completely on the opposite end of the spectrum. We still love each other and have sex with one another sometimes, but we're on the opposite ends of the spectrum. But I think it's not going to be that way. I do think that this is good. I like this. Like, you need to have the contrasting black and white, and I need Superman, I need Batman in the dark. You need this black and white kind of version because Mike's hopeful and optimistic that things will go back to normal rapidly and people will be overselling movie theaters or like booking up gyms and movie theaters and restaurants, and it's going to be crazy. And it's going to be good times. It's going to be the swinging 20s. Woo! Bring your titties out. But I'm also looking at more for Gotham City, fucking before Batman.
Gotham City!
Oh yeah!
A city of justice!
City of peace. City of... for every one of us. I think it's going to be a while before we see any kind of significant influx of people going back to the movie theaters. The gym might be different because there's going to be a lot of fatsos walking around like hippos and be like, I need it!
This guy.
Because everybody right now is like getting ready to get belly bumps when they see each other outside the house. Like,
all I've done is drink and eat chicken wings.
But that's okay. You got to do what you got to do. But either way, I think you're going to see more of an influx possibly there. But movie theaters, I think movie theaters will honestly be, even though it's one of the nation's most like beloved like entertainment industries they have, you'll see them on the bottom tier of what people like. They want their sporting events back. They want baseball, they want basketball, they want fucking football back, they want, all that shit. They want their dine-in restaurant experiences back. I think the movie theaters aren't necessarily going to be dead. I don't, but I think that it's troubling news to know that AMC is suffering like it is right now. And then when you open up the businesses again and people are still nervous and timid to go in from there, I think that the movie theater stuff isn't going to be low, especially when people now where they've been in their house in quarantine and they've had to watch things that are on TV or on demand. They've gotten used to that now.
They also want to get the fuck out of there.
They do. No, but if the options available now, if they're like, Yeah, we can go see a movie theater, and that's great and good. But I mean, I'm still kind of nervous to sit next to somebody for like 2 hours.
What do you think's going to happen the first day quarantine opens up, and the first day movie theaters open up, and a couple that's been sitting in their house with their kids for 2 months or whatever it is, and they go, "What do you want to do tonight? Do you want to sit in home and watch Tiger King again, or do you want to fucking go out and get drunk and sit in a movie theater?" I mean,
you work for fucking Carol Baskins, you piece of shit. No, I don't. I'm not. Yeah, and that's fine, but not everybody has kids. And there's a lot of Americans out there that don't have kids.
Think husbands and wives aren't wanting to kill each other?
I don't know,
right
but
now?
either way, but you got to look at it in that kind of way too. Either way, it's going to be interesting to see how this unfolds in the next few months. I mean, it could be pessimistic, it could be optimistic. Me and Mike are hopeful. How about that? Yeah. We're hopeful. We're just laying out two different sides of the coin. We're like two-faced motherfuckers. You flip it, you get one or the other. Okay.
And to leave it on a positive note. To leave the whole thing on a positive note, September seems like the goal. It looks like the goal. They put Quiet Place there. They put Candyman there. Not only is September set up, if everything goes well, to be an awesome month of horror at the movie theater, again, where we can reclaim glory in the name of Satan, our dark lord, from the fucking mountain butts.
God damn. I didn't know you were going to bring up your mantra that you say every morning in the mirror.
But that's what I do when I shave. But that also, how we kill is still safe. That's still safe.
But yeah, so we'll have some more news coming at you soon. More bright news. It was mixed in. It was like having tea. It's hot and cold and just right. Okay, have some crumpets, hold your asses, and we're coming back.
Like a normal poop, but you get a lot of diarrhea at the end.
You got to have the pain with the good.
It's okay though. You're safe.
Yes.
We watched a movie. Yeah. We watched a movie. We watched it. We watched a movie. Yeah. You know what? We did a review. We watched a movie. We watched a movie.